We're going to be solving this equation, and as you can see, it has fractions. Do not panic because fractions are easy to remove using multiplication property of equality. What you need to remember is who is the number that is dividing. So the divisors here are 5 and 3. Those are called denominators are what as well. We're going to call them as simple as the bottom. So we're going to get rid of the bottom by multiplying those numbers to everyone on the top. Okay, so let's figure this out and be observant. Who has the minus, who has the letter, and how many terms we have in here. So as you can see on the left side, we have two terms. You have the negative 4 over 5y plus 10, and then if you jump on the right side, you have a negative 4 over 3y minus 30. So in total, you have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to multiply 5 times 3 on those 4 terms. So let's do this right now and multiply. Let me just highlight that is 5 and 3 while we're multiplying. So we're going to multiply to negative 4 times 5 times 3, 10 times 5 times 3, and 4 times 5 times 3, and that's negative 4 by the way, and this is negative 30 times 5 times 3. Okay, now I'm going to remember the objective of doing this is to simplify the fractions. What do I mean by simplifying? Just a quick reminder. Remember that anything under the same thing is just 1. So if I have 7 over 7, that's just 1. Imagine that I have negative 2 over negative 2, that turns into a 1. Okay? Everything that has the same top and the same bottom turns into a 1. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to simplify top and bottom. If you have the same top and the same bottom, that turns into a 1. So pretty much we're just removing that. It becomes into a 1, and we're multiplying. Everything that multiplies on 1 is just the same thing. So we're just going to ignore that for now. Negative 4 times 3 is that's negative 12. Before I write my answer, let me keep my border in the middle. Remember that. And now this is negative 12y. Immediately I jump to the next term. That's 10 times 5 times 3. There's no bottom of saying the same ones on the top. So all I have to do is multiply everybody. And that gets me 10 times 5, 50 times 3 is positive 150. Okay, use a calculator if you have to. Now let's jump to the right side, and as you can see, we do have the same top and the same bottom. In this case is 3 and 3, so that turns into a 1. And now let's just multiply negative 4 times 5. So negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, and that is a y term. Make sure you're being careful with that. And immediately I finish with negative 30 times 5. That's negative 150 times 3. That's negative 450. Okay, let me put the border. Why? Because I have no more fractions. Now I checked there's no parentheses, so I don't have to worry about that. And also there's no like terms. Why? Because this is the variable term and this is a constant. Letter and single, they don't mingle because they are not the same family. Letter and single, they're not the same kind. So let's see what we can do. We're ready to cross the border. The minute that you have the left side simplified, the right side simplified, you are ready to start crossing the border. But as you notice, you have variable on each side. What you're gonna do, you're gonna bring them together by crossing the border. So what we call this, and I call it in class, is marry the letters first. So you can do the numbers, but I want you to do the variables first because that way you are going to avoid making mistakes. So this is minus 20y. I'm going to cross a border with it. And when I cross that border, I do the property of addition. Why? Because it's the opposite of what I see. And that is the only way to cross legally to the other side. Okay, that's what the rules say. I see negative, I do positive. I see minus, I do plus. So negative 20y plus 20y, that gives me a 0. Okay, because I have the negative 450 here left, I don't have to write the 0, otherwise I will have to put a 0 in there. But negative 450, I bring it down. Now I'm going to jump to the left, and as you can see, I have negative 12y plus 20, that is just 8y. And bring down the 150. Immediately your sentence says 8y plus 150 equals to negative 450. So we're gonna look for the number that makes this equation true. Same thing here, supposed to be on this side. Now, at this point, you need to be able to recognize your opposite and divide. But if you still struggle with recognizing who's your opposite, bubble the letter that you're solving for, bubble the variable, and the variable term is AY, so you bubble the whole thing, and who's not in the bubble will go to the other side. So in this case, the one that is not in the bubble here is plus 150. Let's do minus 150, minus 150. And let's write the answers. You know, here it cancels out. Same number, different signs cancel at 0. But I have the 8y, so I'm going to bring it down. This is equal to negative 450 minus 150. That's negative 600. Okay? Now, immediately, you're able to see that you're only are one step away to finish this equation. It is just dividing the number. In order to get rid of the 8 that is multiplying with y, you divide, because that's the opposite of multiplication. Remember that. So 8 over 8, remember, same number over the same number, that turns into 1. This is 1y equals to, let's do it here. Let's divide by 8 on this side. And negative 600 divided by 8, that's negative 75. And voila, that's my answer. Please rewatch the video. Make sure that you're careful with your signs, and make sure that you write the letter that corresponds to, to the term. And that's it.